Thank you, and welcome everybody. Fantastic that you're with us, this morning on our call. And what's really important, of course, for these moments is that we get updates and we get the exact information, from the company, from corporate, and also the correct training, material as well from the top leadership. So it's wonderful to see so many of you on the call today, and also welcome all the people who are in the other rooms that are being translated. So I'm going to speak a little bit slowly that I can hopefully be translated accurately on time. So the information that we're getting today is a real privilege that the corporate people and the people who have got incredibly busy schedules take the time to be with us on this call today to update us with the newest information. We've had some great calls over the last few weeks from corporate and also from top leadership. Fantastic training last week, for example, from Staffan on the Top Gun Academy. So thank you for that. We've broken that down into different units, which you can refer to. And also previously from that, the week before, we had Mr. Ricketts on giving us some updates from the company and also sharing some other information with us, and that was also fantastic. We've had UC Salaranta, the CEO of Socium Development, on as well the last few weeks. And again, today he's going to be on just giving us the newest updates, as will the other speakers. So it's really important that we take this information away from this platform today and accurately translate this in our different languages, our different cultures, our different groups accurately for the people, that they're getting the correct information. And this is our job after all, and that is to educate. But it's really important, and I do stress this, to educate accurately with the correct information. And there's just so many good things, so many positive things happening and taking place right now that it's really important just to stay connected, and also some amazing promotions as well. But we'll talk about that slightly later. So without any further ado, then just get into our program. And as I say, it's wonderful to see so many people. And I've just sort of extended my little introduction a little bit because I'm just looking at the number of participants joining our call. So if you can just bear with me, I see the numbers rising here. So once I see that stabilizing, I will, kick off on the call, because it's really important that we get this message out to as many people as possible. For those of you who have just joined us in the last few minutes, wonderful to see. I see the counter still going up. This is fantastic. So, and also, of course, the number of people in the rooms that are connected, for the translations as well. It's great to see. Okay, so I see now we're stabilizing at a number. So our first speaker today on the call, we're going to have basically the first part is going to be our corporate people, giving us updates from their side. And our first, speaker is someone who you've heard sometimes before, maybe not, as often as the other speakers, but someone who's very, very important and very, very key to our evolution, as a company. And that is our Chief Technical Officer and our Chief Technical Architect, Mr. Wayne Dobson, who is really someone completely specialized in the IT world. I think he had his first computer at 12, and he was giving lectures on programming, before he was, even when he was still in his teens. So this gentleman has achieved remarkable, feats in his IT career. He's managed teams of hundreds of developers, been involved in banking and telecommunication. And we're very, very lucky and privileged to have this gentleman with such a wealth of knowledge that he's built up over the years to, be our chief technical and chief technical architect. So it's wonderful to have you, Wayne. Are you with us today? I think you're somewhere in the crowd here. So if you do we need to unmute you, or let me just see if I can find you. Wayne, are you there? I'm just look. I saw you there earlier, but there's so many people now. I'm just looking to see if I can find you to unmute, or maybe Frank, you can help out with that as well. I'm just looking for Wayne here.
Okay, I think you've got me now.
There you go, sir. Thank you. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Good. Welcome, Wayne. Thank you for calling in today from Thailand. I believe you're still in the country of Thailand at the moment with our restrictions going on, but thank you for joining us.
No worries. Well, I live in Thailand full time, as you know. Thanks for a great introduction, as always. I'm just going to go through very quickly an introduction to some of the updates that are happening behind the scenes, some of the vision that we have for the future, and tell you, just to introduce you to some of the key elements, and I'm going to let Frank follow on with more details of some of these things. So over the last few months, you've seen Ecovo Media take a lot of focus, a lot of attention as we introduce the Alpha platform. And we're looking forward to continuing the growth of the Ecovo Media platform and bringing over other of these microsites from the CCW platform, such as auctions and the bids platform and all these sort of things, and pulling them into the modern age and looking forward to how we can integrate them better into your businesses. And that's really taken an awful lot of energy to ensure that the architecture that we have in place is scalable, so that anybody can take from around the world, can take their language creations, their language specific creations, and move forwards. What we shouldn't forget though is there's also the Amplivo work that's going on in the background as well. A lot of energy is going on how we're going to enhance that to enable influencers around the world to further leverage their business. And we encourage you as a network as a whole to let us know the sort of things that will help you in your business. We in corporate have our ideas, and in the normal course of events, pre the virus, we met very regularly and we picked up the bits and pieces that would help. In this day and age, that's more difficult. It may return, and we hope it does return very soon, and we can do live events again. But right now, we take the feedback that you give us from the ticketing system, and we've had a recent, very interesting facility, which I'm going to put in over the next few weeks, certainly this month, where people would like to be able to take from their Amplivo platform a weekly commission statement that they can print out and use within their business for their tax records. Clearly, this is very important, and our intention is to ensure that you get that during this month. But be aware, there's a whole host of things happening with Ecovo Media, Ecovo, and Amplivo. But we've paused for a little while to allow us to do some other things to do with technology. Frank will talk later about exchange. He'll talk later about white paper. In addition, Jay will talk about website, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the ISF website. In fact, I'm going to show you my screen and show you the current developed stage of the ISF website. The information website, it'll be the go-to place for everything to do with the ISF token. I'm just going to scroll through it so you can see that this is very real, and it will be live within the next 24 to 48 hours. So we can just go through. It's a standard information website which will allow you to understand more about the ISF token and more about the businesses that are involved in the ISF token in general. I'm going to scroll back to the top, and you can see here we have the about section, and we have an about to cover social development, and Jay will talk more about that, and obviously Cloud Horizon Limited. We're all very familiar with that. And they have their dedicated pages within the Susnova website where we can update you with how we interact, or how the Susnova token is used and interacts with those ventures. The final thing I want to show you on this website is this little button down here, the white paper. The white paper does exist. Frank will talk through it in a great deal of detail, I'm sure, shortly. And it also will go live and be available for instant download within the next 24 to 48 hours. I think that's probably all I need to cover right now. I think I want to leave as much time as I can for the information from the partnership businesses, i.e. Cloud Horizon through Frank and through Social Development through Jay. But be aware that we have great plans ahead, and a lot of architectural and technical details are being built up to enable us to project forwards with the strength when the virus moves away and live events can restart. So I think that's about all for me, and I'll pass on back to the host. Okay, Peter?
Thank you, Wayne. If you could stop sharing your screen, that would be helpful. So thank you very much for that short but punchy update, Wayne. It's great to see the developments in our business that are being built step by step, and many of these things are of course something that takes time. So I'm just going to stop the screen share. All right, I think. Okay, there we go. We're back again. Thank you very much for that. So great, and that's what we see, guys. People, working hard, at what they're good at behind the scenes here. And as I say, with Wayne's skills, we could have no one better, wish for no one better to be in charge of that area for us, which is, what we need to give us the confidence in the field that we do have people taking care of business, back at the ranch. And another gentleman who's very, very good at taking care of business is the next speaker. As you know, very familiar. Many of you, love to, be on his webinars where he just gives and shares just his knowledge and his wealth of depth of information. And that is the CEO of Socium Development, Mr. Jussi Saloranta. And I could say so many things about this gentleman, and many of you have known him, met him personally. But one thing that'll strike you is just his knowledge, and any project, anything that he gets involved with, he just becomes a student, of that area. And I would, safely say that in this whole area of what we're doing, plastic waste to fuel, he would undoubtedly be one of the, the leading experts on that field now in the world, without a shadow of doubt. And it's a privilege that we have someone of that competence and that level of skill, and also level of intelligence, and also his communication skills are fantastic as well, that he's able to convey this knowledge to us in the field that we can learn and grow also as individuals and as a company. So Jay, are you with us on the call today? I hope you are. There's so many people here, it's difficult for me to find you at the same time as I'm talking, but I think Frank is assisting there with the unmuting. Jay, are you?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Peter.
Wonderful, Jay. So thank you for being with us again from Thailand today. There's a lot of people on the call. There's people from all over the world. So, I know that your communication is very accurate and very detailed and very, very good. So everybody will totally understand you. So I'm just going to hand over to you, sir, and just tell us and share what you want to share with us today.
Well, thank you very much for the warm welcome. And first of all, thank you everyone for taking your time to join us on this call on this beautiful Sunday. I'm here today to deliver for you an update report on a few different territories and our latest progress regarding the Socium Development Company. I understand that this conversation or this presentation is being translated right now, so I will talk in split sentences so that the translators can also keep up with the speech. Most importantly, what I wanted to start off things with is to show you the current progress that we have taken with Socium Development Company, specified to our first project location here in Thailand, but also which will work as we like to call it, our Mcdonald's manual, where basically what we are building is a structured manual concept design for each of our project locations around the world. And what does that mean is that we have a clearly clearly definable and visible design that you will see continuing from all of our different projects, no matter whichever country they are located at. So when you go to McDonald's, wherever they would be, the location and the land and the shop might be of a different size, but you will always recognize that you are in McDonald's. And that's basically what we want to do here as well. So let me share my screen and I'll show you. Let's start off from this. So these are 3D illustrations of what we are now building in our first project site in the province of Sa Kaeo here in Thailand. And in this specific location, we are looking to have between 4 to 6 production units. And then on a close by location, which is just approximately, I would say 30 minutes away, we are looking to have additional machines to reach our total project target of 10 units. And each one of these warehouses that you can see here, as a default, will have 2 machines, but we are confident that we might be able to add maybe even 1 more production machine in there. But this is basically how these locations are now going to look like. In this specific location here in Sa Kaeo, we have now started the land preparation works. We have started clearing this land, and we have started adding these additional landscaping over here, just to make sure that the area is ready for the full construction. This location, the soil, the land needs a little bit of reinforcement, so we are going to do some piling work there, just to have this structure strong enough to support the needed weight of these machines. From here, you can see another angle. As you can see from here, just a second here. All right, there we go. And then you can see the side views of this one as well. There we go. All right. One thing that we have taken into big consideration here when we were doing this design was that we wanted to make sure that this location will work as a good location for us to display it for all of our visitors. So, for example, inside of the warehouses, what you will see is a walking platform which is elevated. So in this way, whenever we have guests coming over to see the facility, you will be able to walk onto an elevated platform and then safely view the operations of these machines without having to go too close to it, or we don't with the need of having any dangerous distance to any one of these machines. So in this way, we can easily present our operations and safely provide a viewing spot for all of you coming to visit us here in Thailand and seeing our productions firsthand. Now, this facility here, as I mentioned before, is planned to hold between 4 to 6 of these production machines. Each one of these machines is able to convert approximately 120,000 kilos of plastic waste per month to approximately 60,000 liters of fuel per month. So we're looking at approximately 50% conversion ratio from the amount of waste plastic to the amount of actual produced fuel. And as in every location where we are operational, we are looking to have a total amount of 10 of these production units in that specific location, and in that way allowing us to process approximately 1.2 million kilos of plastic waste into approximately 600,000 liters of fuel per month. And that is also what will take place over here. Now, obviously, this design and layout will be very good for Thailand and other climates where the temperatures are quite warm. And these machines will actually function better when there is enough and more ventilation available, so that the air can flow in a better way. That's why you can see a very open structure and design on this warehousing. When we are looking at other climates, such as, for example, the European operations, in those locations, we are having a similar but closed concept where basically we will be keeping the cold weather out from the actual interior of the warehouse. So by doing it in that way, then we want to always be able to modify the design for every specific location where we are establishing our operations. But this will be the standard layout for all of these warm climates. Now, if you give me just a second over here, I will share for you something more. Now, we are at the very moment also here developing our website. Basically, this website, sociumdevelopment.com, is basically the site where you will be able to see our business operations, introductions of our team who is involved. You will see different projects which we are currently developing, updates from those projects, and obviously you will see a few of the key numbers that we all want to be very much aware of. Number one, you will see how much plastic waste has been removed from the environment on any given moment. We will try to have that counter to be more or less up to date on a daily basis. And then you will see also how much fuel has been produced as of that time. Also, you will see, as I mentioned, updates from our different projects. And inside every one of those project categories, you will also see a weekly report from that specific project and its weekly business performance. So what we will do is we are going to release for every individual project that we are operating a weekly report which states from the company's management how much fuel was produced during this week, how much raw material was converted, how much waste plastic was removed from the environment, and what was the total outcome of that week. So that our reporting structure will be very much similar to what you would normally see in publicly stock listed companies. We will also do our quarterly and our annual reports, which then goes into more details of the actual financial performance of the company. But on a weekly basis, you will be able to see from our website a report of the production of the fuel which was achieved during that set time. So these will be the most important things on the website. And we will have this website now fully up and running for you within tomorrow. So you can go to sociumdevelopment.com and you can see this information there. Obviously, right now it will be updated. We will also have updated project pictures coming under these project files, where we will be able to share in a kind of a blog style more information about what is happening on that specific location at that time. Now, these are the general news for you about what is happening with Socium development right now. Going into a little bit more details, as I mentioned, here in Thailand, we have now started preparing this project site, and we are doing the land modifications, land preparations in order for us to establish our first machine on this facility. We have already now secured this machine, as I've mentioned in our calls earlier. The first machine is right now located approximately 3 hours away from this location. It's stored in a warehouse where it's basically just waiting for us to have the groundwork completed so we can bring the machine in, install it, and get it up and running. We are pushing very, very hard with all of our different teams to have this machine up and running by the end of this month. And we are still very, very determined on that date and pushing forward every day as much as we can. We've been very fortunate. Maybe I shouldn't say it in this way, but let's say that because of the situation that we've all seen with the virus around the world, there's a lot of very, very talented, very good, qualified people who have been out of work for quite some time. And we've been extremely fortunate to be able to put together a construction team that normally would be very difficult to get on a short notice. But we have a very qualified, very international, and extremely experienced construction team that has now taken over all of our constructions here in Thailand. And I believe that these pictures that you saw, which came from our architect about the designs on these locations, they speak the language. So what we're doing now is we're pushing everybody forward. We're getting this location ready, and we want to bring our first machine over there. As soon as this machine is up and running, we will be adding our next machine. We have from the manufacturer of this technology a confirmation that they have units reserved for us in stock. And from the moment when we are ready to move forward with our arrangements and our order for the next machine, the second machine could be up and running in just approximately 6 weeks from the time when we confirm the order. So we don't have to wait for months to get the next machine, the second, the third, the fourth machine in place. We can actually start to add more and more units faster and faster as we move along. And I want to thank Frank Ricketts for his great support, and obviously Wayne Dobson and Staffan Liebeck for their great support in this collaboration that we have had between Cloud Horizon Company and Socium Development Company on these very early stages as we have been setting our operations here in Thailand. We are in a very good collaboration together with the local government, and this is important for us when we are having our operations started. They are very welcoming for us to the province of Sakeo. They have been very supportive for us, and alongside with this warehouse building, the production facility, I'm also going to share with you photos latest by Monday, Tuesday, about our learning center, which will be built also in this same land. So this learning center will basically be our showroom and location where we can educate people both internationally and locally about our operations and our solution for this amazing, massive, dramatic waste plastic crisis that we are now seeing all over the world. Something interesting, just to give you a little bit update what is happening here in Thailand. I've been blown away over the last few days to see the new normal, how the restaurants here in Thailand that are now have been allowed to open after the restrictions, how they are now operating while trying to protect their clients from any virus or anything else. Basically, what we've seen now is that restaurants that would normally serve their food from normal glasses and cutlery and plates and so on, they have stopped giving their clients glasses. Instead, what they're doing now is they're giving people inside the restaurant your food and your drink wrapped in single-use plastic products. So what you can even see here, you see even the coffee spoon is individually packaged in single-use plastic bag. Well, if this is not crazy enough already, then I want you to see how they actually bring the food for you. They bring the food for you wrapped in plastic foam. Look at that. It's unbelievable. So I just, another example. This is how they serve you soup in the new normal, right? I mean, just when you thought that it couldn't get any more crazier than that. Well, what has happened here is that, for example, in Thailand, the use of single-use plastic products, and at the same time, the generation, how would I say, the amount of plastic waste which is now being produced each a month and each day here in Thailand has gone up more than 20% during the virus, because most of the people have been ordering their food at their home. It's delivered for them wrapped in plastic packaging, and all of that goes into waste. So Thailand, that used to already have a big problem with plastic waste, and where Thai government was trying to restrict the use of single-use plastic bags and other products, is now totally out of control. So all of these efforts that we saw over the last 6 months, over the last year, where people were told, don't use plastic bags, don't use plastic products, don't pollute the environment, all of those things just went out of the window. And now the new normal is that, yeah, let's use just more and more and more plastic. So if anybody was concerned that we are running out of plastic raw material because people are no longer using plastic bags, for example, no need to worry. We are looking at a new increase of plastic waste all over the world. And I'm not saying this in a way that I'm happy about this situation. I'm actually very, very concerned about this. But what does make me happy about using plastic products myself is that at least I know that we have a solution for this problem. And when I go to a store here in Thailand personally, and they wouldn't give you a plastic bag anymore, yes, it's good. But at the same time, we have to remember that plastic is a very good material, and it can be used in many, many ways as long as we have a solution how to treat it once it has been used. And that is exactly what we have. Now, aside from Thailand, we have taken some very, very good progress with our projects in Europe, and we are extremely glad to see that borders are now starting to open up. Travel between different European countries is now allowed, and this is happening. So we're very happy to see this. Most importantly, we are taking very good steps with our first European project, which is going to be in Slovenia. We are, as of right now, we are setting up our corporate structure over there. We are registering our European main company. We use the term holding company for that, which is our European main entity. And I'm also happy to tell you that this main company will be registered in the Netherlands. We are going to have our head office, at least as of right now, for our European operations based in Holland. And from there, we will then coordinate other operations in these other countries. And Slovenia will be our first European location. We have been a little bit pushed back on the timelines because of the limitations that remained on the traveling and doing business, but now things are opening up, and I understood that in Slovenia and other parts of Europe, people are now allowed to move freely, and you've been able to enjoy your summer weather already in some of the terraces and restaurants already. So that's very, very positive progress. So this will be taking place now during the next coming weeks. We will be more established in Europe, and then we are pushing forward on our operations there. Next, online, we are working very, very hard together with our dear coordinators and partners in Belgium and in Ireland, as well as in Colombia. And these other locations, we are moving forward as well. Right now, the most important process which we are working with is the licensing process to make sure that we have all the needed environmental licenses, production licenses in place when we start adding our machinery to these existing locations. The very good thing about the locations in Slovenia, Belgium, Ireland, and Colombia is that these are all existing facilities. We do not have to build the infrastructure in these locations. We have a local partner that has been operational already for many, many years, either in plastic manufacturing business or in waste management operations. And we are able to move in to these facilities without having to build warehouses in the same way like we are building here in Thailand. Instead, what we will do is we will focus our efforts and our resources to build this actual facility and indoors of it to be what needs to be for our operations, and then putting our resources and our efforts in bringing in the machines and starting to convert this plastic waste into advanced biofuel. What you will see in our website is also a estimation for this year. Our target for this year, for the end of this year, is that we would be able, within our first operational year, which is 2020, to process more than 2 million kilos of waste plastic during this year, and from that produce more than 1 million liters of advanced biofuel still during this year. That's basically where we are setting up. But we do wish to be operational in as many countries as possible still during this year. And now, as these restrictions are being removed, our team can start to move and operate and push things forward. So we are in a very good path at the moment. We're taking some very good steps to a very good direction. We've been able to put together a very solid, very good team around us, and we're expecting some very good results for the end of the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay, so much. And, we could chat all day. You've just brought up so many interesting and also intriguing and also controversial, topics. Like you were saying there, when you see the plastic being used now to wrap, the knives and forks and even bringing the food, to the table. I mean, that is just, who would ever have imagined, that situation. And, what I also say sometimes on our calls that we do during the week, our business presentations, is just, pay attention, to how much plastic is in your trolley at the supermarket as well. And you will see that that has increased dramatically, which also, says to me that we're so much in the right place at the right time with this initiative that we've taken and are developing. So, you know, you're outlining there the project that's now evolving very rapidly in Thailand, and amazing, you know, drawings to see the, you know, the level of professionalism that you guys are putting into place and bringing our business again to, you know, the next level. But also the potential in Thailand just alone, Jay, to have multiple projects there. I think Thailand is a population of approximately 69, 70 million. Bangkok probably around 10 million. So, I mean, just, you know, maybe just finish off quickly there just to highlight the potential for us, not just, you know, we talk about around the world, but just purely in Thailand. And once we have that model up and running, I think it'll be like a domino effect. We could have multiple projects in Thailand, the potential.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing now also the interest from the government level to our operations, because these landfills and waste management facilities which are around the world are facing this problem with plastic on a daily basis. They are running out of space to store all of this plastic garbage which is delivered there. And us bringing in a technology and operations where we can remove this plastic waste from the landfills means that it also clears space for them to operate longer without having the need of building new landfills around the country, which here in Thailand, we already have more than 2,000 of. Wow. So you can imagine the amount of plastic waste. I saw a number that Thailand is right now alone, as you said, as one country here in Asia, creating more than 3.5 million tons of plastic waste each year. 3.5 million tons, which has doubled from a number just a few years ago. So that's about 3.5 billion kilos of new plastic waste being created each year. And where is it going? It's all going into the landfills, which are running out of space. And what I want to highlight before moving onwards from this is that all of you understand, and I believe that you have already now, without me saying it, understood that every one of these projects that we're building in Thailand, Slovenia, Ireland, soon also in the Netherlands, in Colombia and Belgium, all of these locations that we're building, every single production unit, every single leader that comes out from these production facilities is positively affecting the demand and the value of the Isf token. So whenever you hear a project being developed, a machine coming online, production increasing, it is automatically increasing the demand for the token. And this will play out in a very, very interesting way in the future for your token holdings as we move forward and we expand our operations further and further.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, this is just so, you know, motivational and, you know, so inspirational, you know, to just know that we're so much on the right track. And also, I suppose, to realize that we're really in the pioneer phase still of this whole evolution, that we're really at the forefront of this. And of course, in the beginning phase, this is maybe the most, you know, risky phase, but it's also the most lucrative phase. But I think now we're really seeing this come of age, and just the baby is walking and crawling around, and it's getting stronger, and it's moving forward. And you know, in a year's time, I have no idea how many projects. I was thinking I would be happy to see, you know, 3 or 4 projects online in a year's time, but now I think we'll have more than 10 projects online just by the way this is going. And, you know, it could be even more than that. So really, there's a compliment also to everyone on the call and all the great leadership and all the, you know, the backup that we've had, you know, through the months, and the support that we've had from everybody in the field, you know, to make all of this possible. It's a real team effort. And you guys, you know, at Socium Development are, an integral part of that team and have done, a wonderful job, Jay. And, we thank you, so much for your contribution and, ongoing contribution, of course, in the future. So thank you, Jay, for being with us today on the call, and always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Peter. And thank you, all the members, all the leaders, everyone who's involved in supporting our mission around the world. Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to be working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we move on to another gentleman who is also a very key element of our success and has been working diligently and working tirelessly, I don't know how many hours you would put in a day to advance the project and advance everything that needs to be done. But if there's one man you want to turn to get the job done, well, that's our CEO, Mr. Frank Ricketts, who's there with us today. Not looking so formal today, sir, but great to, I see that. But you're looking very happy and you got a big smile on your face as always. And it's wonderful to have you. A real privilege, Frank, that you're joining us today to share with us some updates. I know you were on the call a couple of weeks ago and you went pretty much into a lot of depth on a lot of things, which we are now seeing, materialize, from the information that you shared with us. And it's obviously an ongoing process, but it's wonderful always just to touch base with you and just get your insights and what you're working on and how you see things developing. So I'm going to hand over the floor to you to give us any relevant updates and any relevant information you care to share with us. Thank you for being with us, by the way, today, Frank, as well.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you for everyone on the call, and of course to the translators in all the satellite rooms where this is being translated. It's also going out on Facebook Live. I'd like to start with something that happened yesterday, actually. And we all know the situation of the last 5 months, the restart of everything, the restructuring of everything, putting new strategies into place, learning from the mistakes of old in all areas. And a couple of weeks ago with Jean-Luc and Pierre, the thought was, to look at Latin America, South America, and all the members there, which also came to a halt. There's a lot of other reasons for that, but to relive it. And the decision was made, talking with Franz, who's done a tremendous job in Colombia, to actually have a update event yesterday. And everyone thought, well, maybe 30, 40 people, actual members would be interested in, finding out where we are. And so they had a Zoom room for 100 people. And 5 minutes before the event started, no one else could get in. It was already booked out completely. And Katya did an awesome job in the translation. And it was really great to see that, after 5 months, one could go back to a region and present what we are now, what we've managed to do in the last 5 months. And, standing up to the mistakes of old and showing that we learned from those mistakes. And there's mistakes all around, from the corporate side in the various areas, with various people, with various this and various that. But we all have to put that behind. And we now have a situation where, we have hundreds of people in Latin America, South America, really wanting to get going again. And now the traveling is opening up. We hope within the next 4 weeks to actually do the trip, the tour that was planned for the end of March with 7 countries. So that's going to be really good. And there'll be special events, webinars over the next week, bringing people detailed updates from Jay and social development. I'm sure that we can do a special meeting for them as well, with the leadership from everywhere else around the world. So that was really exciting, and I just wanted to get that across, that one can see. They're not present today because it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning over there. But we did a great job, everyone, yesterday. Thank you to everyone who was involved in that. Yes, Peter, you said something that's very, very important. And, you know, it's great talking about things and talking about what one wants to do and one thing or another. But at the end of the day, it's a question of delivering. And yes, you know, you can be a couple of days here or there. And it's been tremendously difficult and challenging to deliver every or any aspect of our business over the last 5 months. And, you know, it starts with IT and actually ends with IT, which we all know and had our experiences in the last half year. But the in-between, you know, where we have our agreement with payment solutions, and, you know, a company who worked on a project for 9 months, Mountain Wolf, and because of traveling, not able to go and put a wet signature on the last piece of paper for banking, and utilizing bank in and bank out from an online account, which hopefully starting next week, they will be able to travel and do this formal thing. But you see how challenging it's been for everyone on a private level, on a local business level, and now take it to the next scale, national business level, global business level, and really putting everything together from scratch again, with a lot of experience from last year, but, you know, with a lot of ambition. And I really compliment everyone in the field who have stayed with it, because you now see the fruits of backing the company, believing in what we said we were going to do and what we would achieve. Because seriously, I'd like to say we've managed to achieve everything we said in Ko Chang, and also in the global meetings and webinars straight after Ko Chang, also in writing in black and white with the newsletters. And we've hit every aspect and managed to deliver every aspect under all this duress and challenging time, apart from the financial stress that we had, you know, starting again. And all these things have been taken care of, and we are really rolling. And we are delivering things that will help you, because it shows credibility that we are not going to make statements and announce things and give dates when we know we're so far off and it's really impossible, and just to please you, just to say what you'd like to hear. And this is very, very important. And I think this is important for us moving forward. Now, bottom line is that what we need to do as a company is not only create everything we've managed to do in the 5 months as a foundation and a base, but we've got to create credibility in the marketplace. And it's the credibility not just in the network marketing industry and amongst networkers. We know that a lot of people, for this reason and for that reason, are always looking for a greener pasture and one thing or another, and short term. And maybe regulatories and compliance may not take too much regard to that, of what's allowed and what's not allowed. I just hope I get through the next month, and maybe this is good for 6 months. But we are long-term. We're not even middle-term. We are long-term, and we base everything on a long-term basis. And that is very, very important in every aspect that we do. And I said yesterday in the call, it's no good having the front of the house looking good if the backyard is full of compliance issues, because it's an interlock. Everything logs into each other. And what we are doing and what we are announcing this weekend, and also delivering physically within the next 48 hours, relates to that. What we need for our project is that we need governmental regulatory offices endorsements, that they have no way out than to approve what we are doing. And we will be one of the very first, if not the only, network marketing company on a project that is endorsed at every level of compliance, regulatory, etc., at the highest levels. And when we start getting endorsements accordingly, where are we situated? We could not be better situated in any time, because regulatory offices and governments, they don't go around endorsing, you know, health products, nutritional products, cosmetical products, even if they are the best. But we're dealing here with an issue. We're dealing with an environmental issue. And that involves regulatory offices and governmental offices all over the place and at the highest levels. And that has to be our goal. That has to be our ambition, also as a network marketing company, to achieve that. And transparency is the magic word. Transparency of everything that we are doing, complying with every rule and regulation that we are aware of today. And if something changes tomorrow, to have the guts to also change things tomorrow, even if it means halving the turnover, because we know that is only a momentary thing. But rather half and build on that than be left with nothing suddenly. And this is our whole mentality, and this is the corporate mentality that we've adapted 100% going forward this year. It is important for us as Cloud Horizon that Socium Development also has the front part of the house and the backyard of the house compliant, transparent, that everyone knows where it's all about. And Jace took actually something that I had written down here earlier. Whatever Socium Development does shows itself as, states, etc., has an immediate effect on the valuation of the ISF. And yes, one can say, well, I got my FLPs for nothing anyway. I got promotions on it as well. I converted them into ISF, and I've got this. Why should I worry? Well, no, you shouldn't worry. But at the end of the day, we all know that we put a lot of value, every one of us individually, on the ISF. And so we have to do things that are interwoven. You know, if you do A, you've got to think about B. If you do B, you've got to think about C and the effect of this and that and what effect it has on the overall picture. So yes, the Socium Development website will be going live tomorrow or within the next 48 hours. Still last details being done. And that will be a platform for Socium Development that is tremendously transparent. There are things that we wanted to do actually last year, but never got to it for whatever reasons. It's not a finger at anyone. I can point a finger at myself. And the main thing is, what are we today? What is our mentality today? What are our consequences? So we will have that tremendously transparent aspect of the Socium Development website. And that is something that is good for the individual, that they really see on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis what is going on. And as Peter said when he started the call today, what's important is that we don't have fabricated stories, and we don't have John telling one story and Susan telling another story, and then Freddie a third story and a fourth story. And at the end of the day, no one really knows what the hell is going on. This is why it's important, these sort of meetings. But we need to get it not just on a meeting webinar basis. We need to get it that you can go to a factual place, or a place where factual, transparent information is there on a weekly basis, and that you can just show the facts as they are. So accordingly, we also have introduced to you from Wayne Dobson has done an awesome amount of work in the background. And you know, as Peter said, one doesn't get to see Wayne so often and one from another and really get down to the involvement and the workload of all these things. You know, we don't have teams of IT in-house. We don't have teams of this in-house. And it just complicates it all when we also bring the corona thing. So hitting timelines today and over the next 48 hours, as promised, is also a great thanks to Wayne on all that. And we have the ISF Sonova website, which again, I'm going to share it again from my screen. Okay. So I'm just going to go here and bring this up. And I hope you see this, Peter. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, this is going live. You'll have this live tomorrow. And this is the ISF. This is the token website. And this is important because it's not just us as networkers. You know, no one is really too bothered about us and one to another. But as we grow, we will come under the radar more and more. All right? And I say, great. That will be fantastic. The more and more we come under the radar. Number one, because we grow and grow and grow. But number two, because everything we are doing is with the best knowledge that we have to be on the right side of the line when it comes to regulatories and one to another. We want to make it impossible for regulatory offices to question in a negative way anything we are doing. Anything we are doing. And we have the ISF Sonova website. And this website starts within the next 48 hours. It'll go live for you all. And when I say within 48 hours, you know exactly it will be within 48 hours. All right, no need to check now, stop, watch. But you'll probably be surprised. We will probably be earlier, okay? So I'm always on the safe side when I give dates out, all right? So this is important. It will be enhanced and enhanced as we go along. And as you go down here, you know, we talk about ourselves. We will add, we will add, we will add. And here, very important here, this white paper. Now I say it's important, maybe not for you guys and girls out there as networkers, maybe not important when you're talking to people because a lot of people don't even know what a white paper is, what it represents, what value it has at any given time. Because obviously a white paper is not a fixed document for the next 6 months or something, because it evolves as well as the business evolves. But it states very clearly what the business model is. What is the ISF token? What does it relate to? What is it all about? And when people start seeing these things and the transparency of the blockchain, how could anyone ever question whether we're on a blockchain or not? And the ownership of these tokens, that they can never be clawed back from a company, from anyone, for whatever reason, and all these things. And a lot of people, they have challenges to talk about this because it's all brand new for them. But here's a site where they just go to the site, click on there, and this is our white paper. And a lot of people only know the difference between a white paper and a red paper and a black paper, and that's the color. Okay, they don't really know the integrities and the validation of what the white paper is saying. And of course, we have the first edition of the white paper. And I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, and here it is. All right, I'm going to go quickly because you will all be able to, within 48 hours, download this. I'm going to just go a bit bigger here. All right, from length of June, draft 04, that's internal, that would change because the one going public will obviously be version 1, okay? And environmental projects tokenized. So it's not just plastic waste to fuel. Table of contents, the global challenge solution, government controls to raise demand, industry compelled to buy, technology innovation, socium development company, our token, how we distribute it, it's a utility token, the technical details of it, projections, and. It's all here. And I can go here and you see it, it's all being put together And as I say, there's little details that we're still working on, but you have this. And this is not just for you. Sorry that I then say that. Okay, it's not just for you that this is done for. This is done also for private equity individuals that Jay and his team are working with. Because it's not just Cloud Horizon making investments into the projects, private equity. And this would be the minimum expectation, even though the private equity works on a return on investment, etc., etc. But also ISF tokens is also something that can be used. And we're talking about this with Socium Development, how this can also be a part, possibly. We're talking about the whole tokenization strategy. At the moment, we have the strategy regarding Cloud Horizon. Any customer purchasing anything, as you know, gets 1 FLP for every euro that they spend. And of course, those who are business partners, influencers, independent associates of Cloud Horizon through the Amplivo website, it's also FLPs being matched to earnings. And that's all very good. And obviously we have airdrop strategies, etc., etc. And all that will be reflected also here, the tokenization strategies in the white paper on the isfsonova.com website as we move forward. What we will also do is that we will have a direct link on your Ecovo and Amplivo websites that you just hit the icon like you do now when you go between Ecovo website to Amplivo website or vice versa, that we will introduce that. It's technically has to be some work done to have that done, but these are things that, are no-brainers, that this is then needed. And as you're introducing the business opportunity or you're introducing a Ecovo, you will also be able to show straight away detailed information, white paper, etc., etc., relating directly to the ISF. So guys, girls, this will be going live. You can start counting the hours for this actually happening. So I'm going to stop sharing my site now, and I'd like to move on. We promised, or I lent out the window quite a while ago, saying that we would list the ISF on a public exchange. We actually managed to do that, also in the time frame. I think we were 24 hours later. But excuse me, there was this thing called also Corona, but we're not going to use Corona as excuses. But I think everyone can say we did it within the time frame that we said we would do. And now we come to probably the most important thing, and that is within the next 48 hours, trading of the ISF token on the exchange.mountainwolf.com will commence. Trading of the ISF will start within the next 48 hours. So you have a traded token, which is tradable. And what's very important, and I know that Staffan has a lot of expertise in this area, is always getting across, as long as I've had involvement with this, and thus the leaders as well, on tokenization and the value of keeping tokens against time. The same as anyone working on the stock exchange. Apart from venture capital, people, etc., which is a whole different ball game, is that you talk to anyone about stocks and shares, and having stocks and shares of companies on regular stock exchanges is, they say, the longer you can keep them there, the better off you're always going to be. There's always exceptions to the rules, but it's a time thing. And as I just mentioned on the tokenization and airdrops and everything else, we will definitely be twitching here, twitching there, refinement here. Not from the basics will stay the same from the thinking, of course, but there could be a little enhancement here and a little enhancement there that will be certainly in print within the next couple of weeks. But, you know, I'm talking of 99% is fixed and maybe 1% a little twitch and a little twitch there. And even though we will commence trading within the next 48 hours, you need to know the following. Under the regulatories of exchanges involved in tokenizations, in cryptos, etc., etc., it is allowed to have a floor price. So the Isf token is fixed at a floor price of 2 cents on the exchange. So the Isf token can never go under the 2 cents valuation. Okay, that is fixed. But it also has on a 24-hour basis that buy and sell orders can only go maximum 10% up or 10% down of the average value for the day. Okay, I'm not going to go into details and explain exactly what that means. Okay, we can have special calls for that. But it can only, if we take the 2 cents as a basis, the maximum it could raise within a 24-hour period, okay, would be 10% of that, which is 20 cents. So it could only go to 2.20 in any 24-hour period. If it's 2.20 in the next 24 hours, it could go 22 cents higher, making it 2.42. If it's 2.42, it can only go 10% down, which would mean 24.2 cents. Okay, I hope you get the gist of how that works. All right. I'm not an expert on these things. I don't really want to be either. It's not really my world. But it is obviously a tremendous interest as CEO of Cloud Horizon to have a basic knowledge of all these things and to know and take advice from people who do know what they talk about. And this is how the ISF has been set up. Now, I know there will be people expecting, oh, well, I can sell now for 2 cents within the next couple of days when it gets going. Yes, of course you can. But what you need if you want to sell is that you need someone buying. That's nothing we can control. We have zero access to this. We are not involved with the exchange in any manner of any kind. The exchange could be called John Doe Exchange or whatever. It's owned by people who have nothing to do with us. And we are very, very fortunate that we have managed to even list on a public exchange. And we will carry on over the next months to look as well for possibilities of having it listed on other exchanges. But it's very difficult to list something of value and have a value when you're not even into operations yet, and where you can show in black and white results. Because this is related, whether we want it or not, it's related directly to the production of oil. Very, very simple. There will be other things that will come into that as we go along over the next months and years. But that is how it is. And again, we are very fortunate to have it listed. if we had our own exchange, it'd be very simple to get it listed because the ones making the decisions would be us. But we're talking about neutral third-party people who have agreed to do this. And so this is very, very good, and it's an awesome situation. But until oil is being produced in industrial numbers, I sincerely do not believe there will be a market that one could really go hallelujah about. It has to grow, there has to be production, there has to be an offering to the general public that not only in our community people could have an interest in the ISF. What we like to see and what we will be working on is, and with the website, with the white paper, is making sure that there's enough information there, also from socio and development, with the information to private equity people. They need to see things in a different way, and to create a market through facts, create a market through the utility that we have, the oil. And this will put us aside against so many other cryptos, coins, tokens, etc., because we talk of real value, but that value has to be created. And it's not created when someone wakes up in the morning and says, well, we now make it €3 a token because the sun is shining and I'm feeling good. Okay? No, we want this to be solid. We want it to be transparent. And the marketplace will develop over, I believe, towards the end of the year, moving into 2021, when a market will be created. The beautiful thing is that at least one will be able to see a euro valuation on an exchange for the tokens one is holding. And we will make it attractive with the airdrops, etc., for people to back this project over a period of time. And I remember a live meeting quite a while ago from Peter, where he was thanking people coming to a future party in his future palace that he built on buying up all the cheap ISFs from everyone else. But that marketplace will be created. So, you know, it's a middle, long-term thinking that one has to adapt to. And we all know that 99% of the networkers do not have any experience with stocks and shares and owning stocks and shares, and have the mindset or the mentality or any experience of how these things work. As again, take venture capital out. The biggest benefit, though, that you need to know pretty quick, you're in the right place at the right time, because it can only be going up over time. But time is also value, and I also respect that people wanting and maybe even needing to sell their stocks and shares if they have any, to pay bills now and then because of this and because of that. And I guess it'll be a similar mindset with some people when it relates to the ISF tokens. With that said, I'm going to pass back to Peter, but I wrote down here something that I've been saying for many, many years at network marketing trainings. And it's been said a couple of times, you know, on this call. And we are in the right time. We've come through the worst situations that any global company could be faced with when you're dealing with people on a personal basis, event basis, etc., with the coronavirus. We've also come through a massive upset, something that was started on the 18th of December 2018, and unfortunately, in the end of last year, had its massive challenges with things that took place and then having to start again in the beginning of January. Also the financial stress where funds were no longer there. Also the funds from South America, Latin America, since the end of November, no longer there, and all these things. And we've come through all that. And believe me when I say, and I sincerely believe this, it's not just this, we have come through with flying flags. And everyone has done their bit with tremendous leadership. Yes, there's leadership that have gone elsewhere. Some of them have gone in a very proper manner and one thing or another. Some have gone in the typical way. There's something that they suddenly, you know, is no good anymore, but now I have this, etc., etc. Everything's fine. But we've come through all this. And there is certainly the best time in the last 18 months of this business is right now. Look what you can show within the next 48 hours. With all these challenges, and we will never talk to new people about all these challenges we've had. It doesn't interest them. They don't know anything about that. They may hear about it and one thing another. And I don't think that's bad, because you can see what we've managed to achieve together. We all together have managed to achieve. We have the right time, we're at the right place, and we have the right opportunity. And believe me, my goal, without a doubt, is to get regulatory and governmental endorsements for what we are doing, because that will be historical in the 70 years history of network marketing. And all of this is no good, though, and excuse me, ladies, if you don't get off your butt and start doing something with what you have right now. Thank you.
No, thank you, Frank. And, you know, it's just wonderful to engage and connect with your passion that you have for our business. And it's very motivational and also just reassuring for us in the field, and also to hear, you know, all the things that you guys, not just you, but also the team, you know, in corporate have been doing. And it's an immense, you know, pat on the back where we've come from, as you say, over the last, you know, 5 months and during this, you know, period as well. But it also, I think, highlights again, you know, for me and for everybody else, how lucky we are to be in this really beginning phase of what is going to happen. And it's like with every real business, and this is also what comes across from what you've said, is that we're building a real business here. You know, not something, some hype or something based on some future projections. No, this is a real business that's been built, you know, brick by brick by brick, putting the structures, putting the procedures, putting and implementing the strategies that we need to reach our goal. And we're very early in this, but we already see the fantastic foundation, you know, that's put in place, and we can profit from that, you know, immensely in the future. So I think that's incredibly reassuring, but also very important for us in the field now. And you handed it over, you've handed the ball over to us in the field. We got to get off our butts and start creating, you know, the momentum and just getting the job done. Everybody has their role, and you guys have absolutely stepped up to the plate and fulfilled, you know, the role that we expected and we need, you know, from corporate. And maybe, Frank, just before you disappear, because it's just, you could spend all afternoon on the call. We'd just love to hear more from you, but just highlight maybe the importance of the coming week with the really incredible promotions that are in play right now, and that people should, you know, pay attention to that and make use of that. So maybe if you could just maybe wind up with that. I'll put you on the spot a little bit, but I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you know, promotions, I look at it as a two-sided coin. You know, there's, I see negative things about promotions. I see positive things about promotions. I think one of the most difficult things is that as a company, we like to, it also has to be answerable to financially, etc., etc., to make promotions. We can't make promotions just because that sounds like, you know, something that is not feasible in a business sense. So that's very important. The only thing is that, you know, we get a lot of people talking about our promotions. Well, yeah, you know, well, if I knew this promotion was happening next week, I wouldn't have done what I did today. And, you know, this goes against all the basic logics of network marketing and progressiveness. If I have, if I do something today, I start progressiveness today. If I wait till next week, then I've lost that week. It's a question of timing. And so every promotion and any promotion is great on the day. One should not think, oh, well, maybe next week is better, or last week, well, I lost out. Yes, should have started last week, not because of the promotion, but because you would have gained 1 week in time. And that's awesome if one is working. But we do have awesome promotions right now. And what we are doing to help everyone creating momentum, but also rewarding those creating momentum. There's always two sides. There's the new customer, there's the new influencer, but there's also those creating the new customers and the new influencers. And you try to get the balance. And what we have right now is obviously the promotions, depending on purchases of the various bundled packages, which are progressive, and the more spent, the more the rewards, which is normal in a normal business. Actually, yesterday I was buying some furniture, and because, sorry to say this, but because I spent more than €1,000, I got €100 discount. But there was already a discount on the product, which everyone got. But once you got over that amount, then you got a bit more, and we don't do anything different. So we have that staggered situation. And no matter what happens, if in a couple of months it goes up, in a couple of days, well, not in a couple of days, in a couple of weeks, it may go up, it may go down, we don't know. But we have to use it today, and it's awesome. But what was really good for momentum is 50% of the qualification requirement to go through the uni levels. Okay? That is really powerful. And we've been having this running now for a couple of months. And I can assure you, and I don't mind saying it right now, we will keep it going for another few weeks. What we have also actual is that if you qualify in any given week, starting, I think it was Saturday 2 weeks ago, we actually started it. So the week before last week, whatever you achieved in that week, which you see last Saturday, you could then request through support to be upgraded to the next level. So we're doing everything to really create momentum in building and people who really want to build. You need an extra tool, you know, talking to people to go that extra mile, to do that extra, to get that extra, and they're one-time qualifications that are keeping there. So promotions are very, very powerful, but always use what you have now, and don't make too many thoughts about what may happen next week or the week after, because it swings and roundabouts, ladies and gentlemen. What someone may not get equivalently in FLP, you get maybe in turnover, or you get in numbers, multiplication of. So with that said, Peter, I think I've covered that fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Frank. And I think this is a great bridge now over to the second part of our program, where we now focus on aspects to help us, you know, develop our business from, you know, three incredible, you know, leaders and people with an amazing, track record in the industry. But also, just to finish off there on the promotion that's currently running for the Fast Start, where you've very kindly from corporate put this into play, that allows us in the field, ladies and gentlemen, to maximize our income from being qualified in the uni level part of the program, which is always the building block, is the fundamental driving motor of our business. And I always love to see people, that was the first thing that I did, was to look, how can I get qualified for the maximum 5 levels of uni level, and the very generous promotion that's in play right now with 4,500 BV. We would be able to qualify for 4 levels normally, but with the promotion that's now in place, for 9,000 we would need normally, but 4,500 with the promotion, because of the half of the BV needed to hit that level. But now with that extra little spice on the top, where we can send in a ticket to the company, will allow us, they'll bump us up to the 5th level. So I think that's an amazing, promotion, and obviously having sponsored 3 people as well. So let's make use of the promotion in this last week, get our people qualified for the maximum income potential that they can achieve. But also, of course, that follows on that when you have people in your uni level qualifying for the maximum that they can earn, it's a great thing for them and they're very happy, but it also maximizes your potential on the matching bonus as well. So wonderful promotions, Frank, very well thought out, and great. Thank you for your support on all levels, not just on what you do in corporate, but to support us and help us in the field to maximize our income. So thank you, for that once again.
Thank you, Peter. I had something here written down. Sorry, one very important thing I forgot. It's a logistical thing. Everyone who was an influencer, an independent associate before the event, Amsterdam event, June last year, please make sure that you renew your business license. The first year was free, and you're all getting emails about renewing. If you do not renew, then you are finished in the business. It's that simple. So make sure that everyone is really renewing their business license, which costs 60 euros. And at the moment, we have a 50% discount. You can pay for it with the mandatory, and it's costing, with the 50% discount, only 30 euros. This is very, very important to maintain the structures, etc., etc. Okay, as long as one is not with a valid business license, no earnings will be credited in that period. Okay, thank you very much.
And that is until the 15th of June, Frank, I believe.
For those who were before, I say the event was the 15th of June last year.
Yes.
Okay. I think we may have a 48-hour sort of leeway on that, but they're there for specific reasons.
Yes.
If no one has, they don't lose their structure or anything like that, but they lose their earning for that period of time. Okay. So thank you again, everyone.
I think this is also thank you, Frank, also a wonderful opportunity, obviously, for us on the call to be aware of that and just take care of, those small, technical issues, and just take care of our business, just run it like a business, but also to reconnect with many people in our structures that maybe have not, been so active. They've maybe gone to sleep. Maybe they're, just got other things going on in their lives right now, but just to reconnect with them and say, look, guys, we need to upgrade or just reactivate your business license, just get that, taken care of, but also to bring this, message that we've got on the call today, that there's been so much positive and so much good, developments that have taken place, and where we've come, in the last months, even, the last year when they first joined the business, is just a completely different, company. We've gone to absolutely the next level. So I would just, share that with you, reconnect with a lot of people, and just get all of that thing done. So now we're going to move on, as I say, really to the second part of our program today, which is more, from the field, and give you information, give you tools that you can use and implement and as ideas to forward your business. I feel that, you know, the corporate have done an immaculate job. They're absolutely, you know, got flying colors for what they've done. So now it's up to us. We got to, you know, first of all, take ownership and take responsibility for our business. No one else is going to do it for us. We got to take responsibility. And our next, you know, speaker is someone who is absolutely someone who has taken a huge responsibility to build his business, to help develop his teams, and also instrumental on the call yesterday with South America to reinvigorate that market and move everything forward. An amazing gentleman who has a very, very interesting career. I believe that he started off as a tennis coach. And when he was, you know, working as in that environment, he actually coached a lady who many of you will have heard of, a lady called Martina Hingis, a very interesting tennis player, a real protege when she first emerged onto the tennis scene. But just to give you a little bit of background, that this lady was world #1 back in the day, the late 90s and the beginning of 2000, for 209 weeks. And I believe, you know, she won all the Grand Slams, and she made over, you know, $24 million in, you know, prize money. So absolutely, at the time, you know, she was the absolute #1 reigning queen, you know, in world tennis. And this gentleman coached her in her formative years. So whatever he did back then was instrumental in her success later in her career. And it's the same that he's doing today. It's a privilege, you know, for any of you guys to be in this person's team and this gentleman's team, because you're really being coached and mentored by an amazing individual who has proven, you know, success, not just in one field, but in different fields. So, you know, with that sort of mindset, you know, you're very privileged to work in his team. And just to give you an idea of how successful he is in our business, I see him looking there very, very ready to go and everything. But, you know, he's a wonderful, charismatic, you know, leader. And we look forward very much to having him on the Top Gun Academy and sharing more of his training with us in the coming Sundays, as we've had other great speakers on. And he's currently a 4-star in our business. Now, just to give you an idea, I'm sure many of you already know that to reach 4-star, you need to create a business volume of 1 million BV in your group, a turnover. And this gentleman actually he's obviously achieved that, but he's much, much closer to 5-star. And to reach 5-star, we need to create a turnover of 2 million BV in our groups. Well, he's actually gone over that. It just has to be distributed in a certain way in our structure. He's actually gone closer to 4 million and over 4 million turnover BV, business volume, in his group. So that really is amazing. I take my hat off to this gentleman's his business acumen, how he's able to motivate people, how he's able to, you know, motivate his team, and how he's able to drive the business forward. This is not something that you do by yourself, but also it's a duplication process. So Jean-Luc Biella, I hope I pronounce your name properly. It's wonderful to have you with us today, Jean-Luc, coming in from France, I believe. So Jean-Luc, I'm going to hand over to you. So I hope that you're able to share some useful tips and things with us today. Thank you. A privilege to have you on the call, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for all these kind words, Peter. And I have 10 minutes because we are so a little bit late. I see Andrea say that. So, okay, I have my chronometer, not to go very, very long. Thank you for all that. Yes, before starting, just to present in 2 minutes myself, you say one thing really important. You talk about my career of tennis coach, okay? And this career learned me one thing more important. When I started network marketing 15 years ago, my first mentor said, if you want to have success, Jean-Luc, you need to be coachable. And this is the most important thing we should have, to be coachable. When I teach people to learn tennis, if they hear me, if they do what I say to them to do, of course they will have success. Martina Hingis was one of this kind of person. But if you say yourself, oh, I have my idea, I know how to do I can create my own business because I'm really smart. Believe me, you will be you will have zero success. That the first thing I want to say. When I start network marketing, and this industry really changed my life. All was fine before network marketing because I work with my hobby, the sport, and when I start this, it changed my life because in 11 months, just 11 months, changed all my financial situation for the years after. So a lot of people, a lot of friends of me start the same business in the same time than me, but all these guys are now disappear. I don't know, they are not there. They are their own business, their salaries, they are, okay, they have no success. Why I have success? Why I'm here and they are not there? Because I had a why I do this. This is one of the most important things too. Why I want to go to the business, what network marketing business, because I wanted to have some goals and I really wanted to have my dreams. And as I said the last time, with network marketing in years after years, I have some goals. I reached some goals. Of course, now I have another one and another one, and nobody can stop me. And this kind of people who now I leave the business, my friends, because they have so emotion. In this industry, you have a lot of emotion. And when you have some emotion, a bad emotion, you know, a roller coaster, okay? And then you can say, oh, I stop, it's not for me. This is the most important mistake you can have. If you have a goal, nobody can stop you. And believe me, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, believe in the company, believe in the corporate. Thank you for all the corporate the corporate who've worked very hard for us. Really amazing. That's so. If I had some success now, 15 years after, because I know with experience we have some things we should do every time. That's the most important. And a lot of people said, "Oh, you know, Jean-Luc, I'm working hard. Today I'm working very hard. Last week I'm working very hard. I'm really happy." But you know, they work like crazy, but nothing happened. They have no result. How many people do this? When I call one partner at the end of the day and I say, "How was your day today?" "Oh, fantastic. I worked so hard. It was fantastic." But I see no result the day and weeks after because they work so hard, but they don't work smart. And this is one of the most important things to do now in network marketing, to work smart and not work like a crazy and not smart. A lot of people don't work smart. What do this kind of people? They spend most of the time face to internet, and they put blogs. They see a lot of things. They write some topics about the business. They spend all the day through internet. They send invitation by email. Email is nothing. If you send an invitation to one contact to you to present your business by email, you will have no result. It's sure. This kind of people spend so much time to analyze the products. So many people will spend too much time to explain business to one guy. If you spend 2 hours to explain a business, this Amplivo business to one guy 2 hours after, and he said to you, "Okay, no, I will see later, I'm not interested." You work so hard, but you don't work smart. That's important. Now I know after years of experience in full time, and when I do something, believe me, when I do something, when I love something, I have 1000% in. That's sure for me. And the smartest way to run your business is the action, to do the 3 or 4 important things, only the action. First, you have to make you create your name list. This is one. If you don't have name list, you will have no success. If you have a little name list, you have little success. If you have big name list, you will have big success. That's absolutely sure. Okay, first. Second thing, action is what? Contact people and invite them to hear a presentation. The invitation in 2 minutes, in 2 minutes, 1 minute, only that. The best is 30 seconds. You invite people. I will tell you how to invite later. This is the second thing you have to do. The third thing you have to do to explain the business. Or you explain yourself because now you have experience, or your upline is going to explain the business for you. Or face-to-face with your upline, or call with your upline. Don't explain the business with sending a message by text, by email, or message. No, voice. Invite with calling people. Invite with calling your friend, the contact you know. That's one of the best things you have to do is the voice, the enthusiasm. If you have enthusiasm, people will follow you. You understand that? If you send an email, they say, oh, what is it? Exactly. No, oh, it's finished. That's important. And the third thing, the fourth thing, sorry, is to train your new prospect. Train your new prospect. Don't say to your new prospect, how many people say, okay, good luck, you will have success, and bye. You don't follow them. It's only action. Only you have to do this. Work smart is name list, invitation, just invitation, explanation, presentation, training, and do this every day. Every day. The best thing is to do with a business plan. If you say in this week, I want to invite 10 people, invite 10 people in this week. If you say this week, I want to invite 20 people, invite 20 people this week, but do with voice, not by email, not through spending so much time by internet, or I have my own website, I'm happy, 5 hours, I'm tired, but I'm so happy, I worked so hard with my business, but nothing happened. This is one of the best, the most important thing of the failure, to work like a crazy, but nothing happened. So you do really you should do really this kind of things. And the other things I want to say is how to speak, how to present, how to speak about our concept. Because a lot of people in network marketing don't speak about our concept. Our concept, for me, after some company I knew, a lot of company I know, it's hard to talk people for our product. Imagine I have a company, I have some cream, shampoo, I don't know. I take a taxi. I took a taxi. I go to Paris and take a taxi. Do you think it's easy to speak about my products to the taxi? It's really hard. How can I say to this guy, oh, you know, to have a better skin, you should test my skin, my product. It's really hard. It's difficult. Okay. Our concept is so easy. So how to talk about our concept? Two things: the people we know and the people we don't know. The cold market. Easy. The people we know, you can call them or you can be with them and they say, oh, you know, one thing important I want to ask to say to you now, you know, we have a big problem, a huge problem, a global problem in the world is plastic waste, you know, and now I'm really happy because I'm involved and to help our earth to be clean now. And I want to speak with you because you yourself, you can impact, you can be impacted by this, but with doing this, with helping the earth, you can have some rewards, some commission, like me. Are you interested to know how you can earn some money and help our planet to be clean? 100% yes, they say yes. Finish. It's like this. And if they say to you, please explain me more. No, not now. Are you free tomorrow? Because I have the luck to have one of the best leader in this concept. Is really good friend of me, and he will explain to you personally. Please, tomorrow at 2 p.m. it's finished. Don't spend so much time with this person to explain like this with the voice. You should do this with all the people you know. And the second thing, to invite people you don't know. This cold market. This is the hardest things we can have if we want to create a big team, okay? And the first thing, I don't know if in France is the same, in English is the same, is we have to break the ice. I don't know if it's correct. Yes. With the people you don't know. Thank you. How many times when I go to Paris or Lyon in other town, I take again a taxi, how easy for me to explain what happened with my business to this guy. How is it? Or if I go to a bar, to a restaurant, but some cafe in a cafe or a bar, and I have people just near me, beside me here. I don't know him, and you know, the first thing is to break the ice. You can say, what do you want? Example. Oh my God, it's hot today. Or you are lucky to have a good weather because in my town, and I'm living in the south, we're freezing. Yes, it's a good time. But, I will go very often in your time if it's hot like this. No, I will be there often because, perhaps it can interest you. You know, I'm running a concept. Do you know the big problem we have in the world at this moment to eliminate the plastic waste? You know that this problem? Yes, of course, it's incredible. You see at the TV everywhere, you can see the birds, the animals in the sea with a lot of plastic. It's incredible. But now I'm here because I'm looking for some people. I have some people in Paris now to help us to eliminate this from their home, to eliminate the plastic, but in the same time they can earn some money. Would you be interested to know how is it possible? And you can do this with your taxi. You can eliminate the plastic and earn some more extra money. Are you interested to know that? You know what? 100% they say yes. If I talk about cream, about shampoo, pills, blah, 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 and say, oh, no, yes, but we lose this guy. Here, we don't lose this guy. So be simple, be very short. When you invite people in the next presentation, invite the last moment is the best moment. The urgency is the best moment. I don't know what are you going to do tonight or tomorrow evening, but please cancel what you have to do, because I want you in a presentation. In a concept is incredible. You know how we have a big problem in the world, the plastic devastation. Okay, we have this big problem. You can help our earth to be clean and earn some money, like me. Please be there, you will see. It's like this. If you invite people 1 week ago and the presentation 1 week after, you lose these people. If you send an email, you lose these people because they say, oh no, they forgot, or perhaps the same day you will call them and they say, oh no, I have one thing to do, I completely forgot, and they will not in the conference room. But if you invited in urgency 2 days ago, the last day or the day, sure, there will be, if you're enthusiastic, if you say to them, please be there. I have only two plays to hear that. You will see the result. That's important. So, yes, I wanted to say in a few words, in a few minutes, how to have success with Amplivo. Be simple, the most simple possible. Work very smart. Do the right things. Be coachable. Absolutely not spend so much time in internet. Send email. Create your own blog, your own website. You can do this in a few minutes, but sure, go to the action. And the action in network marketing industry, I know that so much now, the action is the most important. You know, the people do what you do, they don't do what you say. That's, of course, all the time is the same. And if you do the things the other don't do, you will have the things the others don't have. That's important to know that if you do those things, if you're committed, even if you work hard with your current business, after your current business, you can make good things with Amplivo, your concept. You know, when I started network marketing, I was happy in my job. I finished to teach tennis because I'm old now. I finished and I was manager in a fishing shop. I love fishing. It's my big passion. Okay, I love fishing. And when people invite me to go to the network marketing presentation, when I see this concept, I was happy because I know I'm going to start the business because I had a why to help me to have more money to reach my goals. But in my head, I said, but I never let my current job down because I love to go to my shop and sell fishing products. It was not a job for me because I loved so much that. But you know, 11 months after, I say to my job, to my boss, please, I finish now, and I start in full-time in network marketing because I teach a lot. I learned a lot. Sorry, I knew now the good things to do to have this success. So now, 15 years after, all I changed in my own life, and it's because of simple things, by the right things. If you have some ego, you will lose all. If you have some perhaps I don't know the words in English, but if you're sure you will have success because you trust in yourself, you will have success because you trust in yourself. But please be coachable and listen what your mentor, what your upline say to you. That's really, really and very important. So thank you so much. I'll just stop now. I wanted to just to give you my experience. I'm so happy in this concept. The vision is so important for me. I know we are just doing this with Amplivo. I know so much business would the people try to attract me and their other business. Some company want to pay me. I don't want nothing. I want to go very straight and go to go forward with Amplivo because I knew the best thing is yet to come. I hope you will be with us. Thank you so much.
Jean-Luc, wonderful. Thank you so much also for your passion, for your input, and it's just a privilege and to listen to you. And I hope that you will be our guest on the Sunday midday Top Gun Academy in the near future, where you can share some of your trainings, your methods. But absolutely, what you say is, just pick up the phone or, get people live on a Zoom call, interact with them. And for many people, I suppose that's just getting out of the comfort zone. It's easy to send a text. It's easy just to send a link through, but it's getting on that phone and just getting out of your comfort zone and just getting into action. And that's why you have the success, the incredible success that you do have. It's because you're a man of action, not just a man of words, but a man of action. So Jean-Luc, thank you so much. And, for being with us today and sharing your passion and sharing your very important insights. And it's wonderful to have, committed leaders and also, the structure that you're setting into place for your team. This is what people can plug into, is the system, is your presentations, where you have a professional like you with the passion, with the knowledge, with the education. But of course, you're just educating your team so that they can also do the same and create the duplication. So it's the same in all of the markets that we work in, ladies and gentlemen. Use the system, use the weekly business presentations and get connected, with your leadership, with your upline, with the successful people, because these are the people you're going to learn from. And I think today, Jean-Luc is obviously, testimony of that. And now we're just going to move on. Jean-Luc, we could listen to you for much longer. It's a privilege, as I say. So thank you once again. Now, the next gentleman that we're going to have on the call, and that just says to me, well, we've all got gentlemen, we've got guys on the call today. I really want to see some ladies on the call, next time. So, let's, get the ladies now up the rank as well, and getting, some powerful leadership. We have already very dynamic leadership from our ladies community in the business, but unfortunately they're all translating in the rooms at the moment. And it's the reason why some of them are not, doing maybe what you're doing. And this is also, one of the characteristics of the ladies. They maintain, they look after stuff. So we thank all the wonderful ladies who are doing the translations in the room. We would be wrong to single out, one person by name, but you know who you are, and we value your contribution, and you do an amazing job, for us. So for your teams, for everybody. So thank you for your contribution. And now we're going to move on to our founder. And this gentleman we had last week on the Top Gun Academy, where he did an amazing training, and I could absolutely recommend, you go look at that training. We broke it up in different segments, and it's all about education. It's all about learning. And it was an incredibly powerful training from different, aspects. And when this gentleman, was looking and formulating, this concept, this setting it all up, I mean, I can imagine him, looking out on a landfill in Thailand, and this would have been a pretty depressing sight, because if you've ever, been to one of these landfills, it's not really a destination where you would put on your tourist, attractions list. Although for some of you guys, it certainly does seem to have evolved in that way. We got to go and visit a landfill. It's a smelly place. It's a place that doesn't really, inspire, much. It's just a place of desolation, and doesn't really inspire hope. But this gentleman saw it differently. And this is the characteristics of, successful people, of inspirational people, people who see something that other people don't see. They see an opportunity. And this is what Mr. Staffan Lieback saw when maybe he was looking out at one of those landfills. He saw an opportunity. He saw the ability to take away that plastic waste and convert it into something of value, fuel. But not just that, but he also saw the ability that we could build a business around that, where everybody could, profit from, but also the vehicle of network marketing. And through his involvement through the years, realized that network marketing being one of the most efficient and best ways to bring any product or concept or service to the marketplace through conversationally marketing, and what we do, explaining to people what this is about. Certainly in the beginning of any business, of any new venture, it goes through certain phases, and network marketing serves in that first phase where people just don't know about it, to educate the public, to educate the people. And that is an immense, compliment to him and his visionary skills and his business acumen to put this, together. And we wouldn't be here on this call today without the work and the vision that he put into play. So that's a little bit of a long introduction, but I just really want to put into play and put into place, how important a role that he has played for us. And it's a wonderful compliment, to him where we are today, now just over a year further with this whole concept, that we're now moving with such a powerful momentum forward with all the work the team has put into place. So Staffan, I'm going to hand over to you, and I'm sure you're very happy to share some of your insights and some of your knowledge with the community today. So thank you for being with us on the call again. So I'm going to hand over.
Thank you, Peter, for your words, very kind words. And it's been a pleasure to listening in. First of all, I want to thank everybody that was on. Mr. Wayne Dobson, fantastic job. We've been speaking a lot with him the last weeks also. How can it become easier? And I think that is something that is so important for us to grasp. And also Mr. Jussi Saloranta, for all the job he is doing. And guys, honestly, in these times with COVID-19, we are blessed to have people that puts in everything, for us to be able to even, share this opportunity. And also Mr. Frank Ricketts, obviously, the corporate side of everything behind Cloud Horizon, which is the owner company of everything that we put up, the platforms. I'm going to a little bit recap that today. I did it in the Top Gun Academy. But I believe that with time and with the before solutions, what people would call normally problems, same as I did when I started in this beautiful industry of network marketing soon 20 years ago. Actually now in August, it comes to 20 years for me. 21st of August marks 20 years within this industry. And I must say, what Frank does, he brings to the table, you know, the transparency, he brings to the table the corporate side that is very well needed for everything, for us being able to trust, okay? And the blockchain that being put into place, or actually is in place, but the websites, the white papers, all this job that, you know, guys, especially in these times with COVID-19 not being able to travel at all, in most cases, to get this done. So we now, coming into June, we are in June already, and we're marking soon now 1 year since we launched basically in Amsterdam, okay? It was a lot of pre-launches. Everybody knows that we had our, you know, before solutions, but on the other hand, what company does not, especially in these situations? So yeah, I agree 100% with, and thank you know Wayne Dobson, Mr. Jussi Saloranta for the things he do with social development, and obviously Mr. Frank Ricketts that makes it finally then for me also possible to focus more on the field work. Okay, that's where my biggest strength is. Yes, I enjoy sitting and doing concepts, you know, marketing sides of it and so on. And actually from a legal education that I was just finishing up when I run into network marketing, or actually network marketing crashed into me soon 20 years ago. Being able to today, like Frank said, oh, like 70 years, we can discuss how old is really that network marketing. Is it more than 100 years? Is it 70 years? It depends where you really put the mark, where it really started. But guys, for the first time ever, being able to, I will speak about some course-driven things on a platform documented on a blockchain. That is very, very fantastic. And also, obviously, Jean-Luc, thank you for all your dedication that you've been showing through the years. I've been knowing you, but foremostly and all, obviously, the last year and some so. I mean, fantastic. And I mean, your results also outside network marketing, fantastic. Coaching some of the best tennis players and so called in the world. And this, ladies and gentlemen, brings me back to what does it really take to become successful in basically any industry, but especially I would say network marketing. It's being coachable, okay? Like Jean-Luc said, if you think that you know everything, this industry is probably not for you. And if you really, really think about it, I was taking that up on the Top Gun Academy also last week. I mean, we go to school for decades. In most cases, decades, ladies and gentlemen. And are we getting paid? No, we're not. But in this industry, actually, while you learn, while you become excellent, hopefully become excellent at this industry also, you actually get paid on the way. And that is, if you ask me, fantastic. Okay? And I don't know another industry that does that. Having said that it's difficult to explain this industry or actually explain what we do, I tend to disagree today. Yes, if you are going into, you know, the nuts and bolts and the small things, you know, and you try to explain every single thing. Yes, it is complicated. The tokenization is the formula in itself. Takes some time to learn. It takes some time to learn the compensation plan. It takes some time to learn, you know, how really all these elements, you know, work together for our benefit. But in the end of the day, in my opinion, it is pretty simple today, the concept. I use this graph, and I hope you guys see here, you know. I use this on the Top Gun Academy also. And I want us to really ask ourselves a few questions that goes hand in hand in what we do. And John looks at it really well. Number one, do you know about the pollution and so on? Now, turning it around, what is it really we're doing? It is a course-driven e-commerce platform called Ecovo. Is that difficult to understand? Not really. A course-driven platform that will keep on evolving. And here back to Frank Ricketts. Okay? He said, this is not a short-term project. No, it is not. It is a mid-term. Now, what is mid-term? That is, in my opinion, 2 to 5 years. Okay? And a long-term project. So my question to you is, would you be able to support a cleanup of our globe by doing what you already do, purchasing products and services, but take into consideration a cause of cleaning up? And like Jean-Luc said very well, you know, whoever you speak to and you ask the questions, have you heard about plastic pollution? Would you be interested of supporting it? I mean, most people I asked says yes. And I think it's the same with you. If you know what kind of questions you ask. And there is a very famous saying also that goes in the following way. Educated people and smart people ask better questions. Correct? And now my question to you is, if you want to boost your social capital, you want to boost your business, would it make sense to practice in order to become excellent? And Jean-Luc said it extremely well also, you know. We are not really doing the business if we're sending out emails, if we are blogging somewhere, if we are chatting about this, and if we are not really talking to people. So what is it really you do when you're doing network marketing in general? You would promote products and services. We are a little bit different, if you ask me. We are speaking to people about that there actually is a cost-driven opportunity, but also something that solves a huge problem. In this case, the plastic pollution, where you can build your social capital, you can save, and yes, you can even get rewarded. Okay? You do not need to know all the nits and grits about it, you know. It is very simple. Everything you spend will support the cleanup of our planet. Okay? Fractional, yes, if it is small money we're talking about, but with bigger money over time, as I said, a long-term project, you will make a significant contribution towards cleaning up our planet. And now, what is significant? Not only kilos, but tons and even more. And guys, you can be involved in actually doing it in several ways. One is only to, you know, to follow it. Okay? Follow the cost-driven, business that we are all part of, or you can even support it. Now, what is so special about this? What is so special about the company behind Ecovo? As I said, Ecovo is a platform, the company is Cloud Horizon, indirectly behind. That makes it possible for us to spend money on an e-commerce platform and be part of cleaning up the world. Okay, now, what is the difference from any other business on the market? It is actually very simple. It is that the net profit that this creates goes towards constructing, in this case, with the Isf token, plastic waste to fuel machines. Okay? That's pretty cool, because if you're looking at any company on the market, more and more so over the last years, and I believe going forward even more, it becomes more and more important, not only what kind of products or service we are buying, but also what those companies stand for. More and more people today are aware of companies that maybe do not do it in the most sustainable way and choosing another product or service because of that. So now if we're looking at it, Cloud Horizon takes the net profit and builds what I would call the company, Cloud Horizon, magical boxes. Plastic to fuel units, in this case, in the future it could be whatever that is sustainable. Now that's pretty cool, yeah? And you can actually be part of that indirectly by having the possibility of redeeming these tokens. So yes, it has been very tricky to explain it before, but like Frank said, with the white paper, with the new web pages coming up and so on, and with our experience to understand the thing ourselves in a more sustainable and easy way. So do you agree with me that it makes sense to actually do purchases in a way that would build your social capital? I mean, most people would, Now, does it then also make sense to document this on a blockchain? I mean, then you can prove it at least, you know. And not only a blockchain, the most used blockchain globally today that even governments are using, okay? So now, what are these tokens? It is very simple. We take, in this case, plastic waste, we shove it into the magic box, as Jussi Saloranta showed so nicely with the new facilities coming up. The plastic waste goes in, out comes what? First of all, the plastic disappears. So you are indirectly, by being part of this platform, purchasing on the platform, and yes, you as a listener here, most probably also have chosen that you want to make money. Through a business license, you get a back office. That's not only to say, yeah, so what? No, you get a back office that tracks your business. I mean, for 95 euros getting that, plus marketing tools, campaigns that you can take part of, and so over the next months, weeks, years. It will become more and more easy to do. And it will attract, in my opinion, more and more customers because of the cost, and also merchants. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to a merchant and ask them, would you want more customers? What would be the answer? Most merchants would say, yeah, of course we want more customers. It is even free for them to join. Okay? It doesn't cost anything for them to join the platform where they can offer products and services and actually, if they want more sales, provide what? Savings, promotions, and through those, part of it goes automatically towards building more of these boxes. And yes, giving customers loyalty points, rewards for supporting it. And like Frank Rickett said, and I'm saying it over and over again, these will become valuable over time. Okay? Why? Because more and more fuel is produced, more and more plastic is taken away, and guess what? You can be part of holding these tokens. How much? That's up to you. How much will you purchase over the next couple of years? But also, if you choose to push the business, how much can you build and share and spread the message? So actually, like Jean-Luc said, what is it really that we do? We are simply sharing the information, educating the surrounding about that, yes, there is a solution for the plastic pollution, but also you can take part of it. Okay, thanks to network marketing, thanks to tokenization, you as a private individual, same as me, I mean, normally it would be for big business, I think you agree. But through this model, I believe that we are, if not the only one of the absolutely few opportunities on the market where anybody, you or me, anybody that has an urge of changing their current situation can actually do so. What's the limit? What's the roof? There is none. Thanks to the rewards plan that we have in this company, we have no limits. It is simply unique. So repeating, how do I, Staffan Liebeck, see this one working? Very simple. You as a customer, you as a merchant, anything you are can be part of cleaning up our world and actually getting paid for it directly for what you're doing yourself, but also indirectly for sharing the opportunity to actually make an extra buck over time. So for me, this opportunity, if you ask me, is unique. It's also unique people behind it. Like Jean-Luc said, how many times do you have other companies approaching you as a leader each and every day, weekly, to try to lure you over to some kind of opportunity that maybe looks good on the surface, but maybe behind in the backyard, like Frank Rickett said, it is not so nice. People like Jean-Luc and other leaders, and also the corporate, there is no way for us to leave this opportunity, not doing everything, that we can in order to support it and bring it forward. Why? Because we simply know too much. We simply know that this is the opportunity on the market. I will personally keep on working as hard as I can to make it easier for you guys to understand, but also easier to market this opportunity. And now with, hopefully restrictions opening up, being able to travel, like Frank Ricketts said, yes, not only online, but also live, okay? Because this is very important for building the leadership, building the relationships, and so on. And I once again want to thank all the leadership, obviously the corporate side of it, but all the leadership for everything that you do. You guys are simply amazing. And keep on doing, make it simple, keep on sharing, keep on telling the story, and keep on cleaning up this to make it a better world for all of us. So this is Staffan from Bangkok, and thank you all for tuning in. It's been a fantastic day, and it will keep on being a fantastic week that is upcoming. Months and years, you can bet on it. So thank you from me.
It's so important, for us in the field to be passionate about our business, not just to do something, for the sake of doing it. Okay, we can make money with so many different things, make an income and everything else. But when we engage with this business, it's something that everybody can get so passionate about because of the cause-driven aspect of what we're doing. And what better, thing to be doing with our time than contributing, to make our planet a better place than what it is today, and leaving that as a legacy for, our families, our children, for the next generations, and so forth and so forth. Because you think of it, if we don't take action, right now and do something that's of value and implement, what we're doing as strategies to make our planet a better place, then, it's not going to be somewhere that people can maybe live in the future. So it's really, key and passionate for us to engage with this cause-driven aspect of our business as well. And the rewards, as you say, then come from that, by getting, the income, etc. And also building, great relationships with inspiring people, like yourself and all of the previous speakers as well. We can learn, so much. And that brings me on now to our next gentleman, who we had him on the Top Gun Academy a few weeks ago, and it was so motivational, so inspiring, to hear him talk. But also the way his mind works, his brain works. Some very intelligent, gentleman, but also someone who's been, in the very short time that he's been with our business, also remarkably successful. Again, one of our leading, 4 stars in the business globally, building a tremendous team, working day and night to help his team advance and move forward. His business is not just based in his home country of Italy. It's built, now globally. And he's just someone who over the years has really built a very solid foundation and relationships that he's developed in business over 26 years ago when he first got started in this industry, people who are still connected with him today. So that just, gives a statement to me of the integrity that this gentleman has, how well he works with people and builds relationships over time. I think his background, started when he was in the military. So maybe he got a little bit of discipline, from that. And he's applied that discipline in his life and in his business. But a remarkably successful gentleman. And it's a great pleasure for me now to hand over to Andrea Ciro, who is our 4-star from Italy and one of our absolute top leaders and global ambassadors. So Andrea, are you with us? I hope you can.
I'm here. I hope you can hear me. Yeah,
we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, very good. So first of all, I to you, Peter. I to everybody. I move like this. Okay. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you. I have 2 monitors here, Italian, here the world. So I don't know where to look. Thank you for you. Thank you to you, to the company, to give me the opportunity to stay here 10 minutes with you, to share with you some ideas. Okay, my name is Andrea Cerio. I am 47. I started in the network marketing 27 years ago, always full-time. And finish. I don't want to speak anymore about me. This is not important. It's more important you. I did my first journey in Thailand on February 19, when I knew the first time Staffan, and immediately I fall in love with this business. Immediately I start to work in this business full time, absolutely full time. And one thing I understood from the beginning, from the real beginning, that there are in this business is the biggest, is the most powerful business in the world now. This is my idea. There are no other business like this, because we speak about plastic and fuel. And like I repeat every week in my training with my people, if you understand this, you understand everything. Plastic, fuel. And the second thing that I understood is that this is a medium long term business from the beginning. And this is what you have to understand very, very good. You understand, and you have to give this information to your people. This is not a business for short time. This is not a business for easy money and fast money, because a lot of people work in this way. A lot of people want to have a lot of money, but they don't want to work. I don't believe in fast money. I am 47. I'm not a boy anymore. And I know that if you want to reach big result, if you want to reach big money and big success, solid success for your life, you need two things. You need work hard. Work hard. You must work hard. Finish. Point. There are no other solution. And you need time. And this is not months. These are years to build something really good. You know, our company has the goal to reach billions of liters of fuel in the next 10 years, like Jussi told us a lot of time. Billions of liters. This means that if you produce billion of liter of fuel, and you sell this fuel, you are in a billionaire market. And remember one thing: if you want to become billionaire, you must work in a billionaire market. If not, you don't have possibility to do this. And this is the first point. The last point I want to speak with you is that this is a new business. Like I understand 1 year and a half ago when I started, February last year, I understood that this is a new business. Everything is new. Plastic and fuel and blockchain and tokenization. Everything is new. So you can't approach to this business like you did in your life for other things. You must renovate your mind. You must renew your mind. You must be open mind, because you can't approach a new problem with all solution. You must simply do one thing. You must study. If you want to make this business, doesn't matter who are you, how old are you, you must study. Again, you must study every day. I can tell you, really, I dedicate to this business, I don't know, every day from the beginning, and I study a lot. I like to study because I believe that, because I want to know this business. If you want to be a leader, if you want that the people respect you, you must be prepared. Because when your people come to you and make you one question and you don't have the answer to that question, people lose credibility in you. There are two kinds of people. There are people that decide to be a professionist, and there are people that decide to stay simply mediocre. Mediocre is correct, okay? Mediocre. And for example, I do meeting every week with my people. Every Wednesday night, I do 1 hour meeting, and some people didn't come neither to this education. Okay, there are a lot of people, but a lot of people don't come. And if I have the possibility to speak with these people, I would say you have zero possibility to have success in this business if you don't study, if you are not prepared, because there are a lot of things to understand. But the good things is that you have a lot of leaders. There are a lot of really great leaders all around the world that can help you to grow up, can teach you, because this is something new, like I did in the beginning. Okay, I come from 27 years of experience, but when I went to Bangkok, I didn't told to Staffan, Staffan, no problem, I know everything. Frank, no, I know everything. No, I didn't know nothing. And I started to study again. Now, I can tell you, I'm quite sure I know everything about this business. But it's more than 1 year that I study every day, every week. And this is your decision, no? Each one of you in this global Zoom can decide which kind of person I would like to be, professionist or mediocre, okay? But this is up to you. This is I want to be a professionist, and I study to be a professionist. I want to finish is 6 minutes, but I don't want to steal your time because we are a little bit late. So I think that sometimes you don't need to speak too much. I want to close this few minutes telling you a story. Okay, you know why? Because in the last 27 years that I am in these industries, the most frequent question that the people make to me is, Andrea, please tell me, how much time I need to reach the first star? How much time I need to reach the second star? How much time I need to reach 1,000 € a week? How much time I need to 10,000 a month? How much time I need to have 1 million in my pocket? And all the time I answer to this question with the same story. And now I will tell you the story. So I can tell you that I told this story to a lot of people in the last 27 years. We are in the desert, okay? Listen to me. We are in the desert, and there is a man that lose himself, okay? He lose in the desert. He don't know where he is. He is thirsty. He is hungry. He's near to die. Don't have possibility to survive alone on the desert. 40, 50 degrees, night and day. After 2-3 days, he is almost finished. And while he is not walking, how to say, I don't know the word in English, strisciare, how no, sorry?
Crawling.
Crawling. How is crawling in the desert? He saw somewhere there, you don't see even so good. He seems to see something. So with the desperation, he start to crawling more fast, okay, and go. And at the end is reality. He see someone. There is a wise man on the desert dune, okay, staying like this, and looking to him. And this man think, okay, maybe I can survive because that man can help me. So really, with the desperation, with the last energy he has, he accelerate to him and ask him, sorry, man, really help me. I am dying. Really, I am thirsty. I'm hungry. Please tell me how much time I need to the next oasis. And this wise man looked to him, a little bit smiling, and don't answer. And this man looked to him and repeat again, sorry, please, look to me, I'm almost dying. I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, please tell me how much time I need to the next oasis. And for the second time, the wise man looked to him, a little bit smiling, and don't answer. So this man is take from the desperation. Please take with his arms. No, please tell me, I'm dying. Tell me, please, how much time I need to the next Aussie? And for the first time, the wise man looked to him, a little bit smiling, and don't answer. So at the end, okay, this man is, he understands that he is dying. He said, okay, I go, I follow. And he start to crowing again, and start to crow. After a few minutes, this man hear from the back, from the wise man, 20 minutes! He block, and he don't know if to follow for 20 minutes or go back to the wise man and ask why he didn't ask before. So he go to the wise man and I say, look, I asked 3 times to you how much time I need to the next Aussie, and for 3 times you didn't answer me. Then I start, I'm dying, I'm thirsty, I am desperate. And after you tell me 20 minutes, why? And the wise man told to him, because before I tell you how much time you need to the Aussie, I need to see how fast you were. You understand? Because sometimes when you ask to me or to your leader how much time I need to be successful in this business, you have the answer. We don't know, because this depends from how fast you are, depend what you do every day. If you work 5 minutes a day, if you work 20 minutes a day, if you work 1 hour a day, if you work 10 hours a day, if you work 20 hours a day, this decide how fast you are to reach your goal. Doesn't matter which kind of goal. If it's in Amplivo, is in the Cloud Horizon, in everything you do. This depends on what you do every day. And my advice is to work hard, because this is the biggest opportunity of my life. I can tell you for sure, I never saw something like this in the last 27 years. And I think this will be a great opportunity for all the people that really want to do something for the future, want to do something for us, for our family, for our children, and even to have a good solution for our life and all the people we know. Okay, Peter, I close, because if not, it's too late. Okay, I don't want to. So thank you very much, Peter. It's always a pleasure to stay with you. Thank you to Frank, thank you to Staffan, to Jean-Luc, to all the leaders in this room, and I hope to see you soon.
Andre, it's also a pleasure, to have you on the call as well. And we love your Italian flair and your Italian passion. It's really inspirational and motivational, to come and meet you personally and work with you, locally in Italy and wherever else that we turn up when we can, travel again.
I wait for you. We wait for you, We wait for you.
I know we look forward to being able to do events, and I hope that's not, so far in the future, because now we see, the football starting up and things like this. And actually, I'm a big rugby fan, and yesterday the rugby started in New Zealand. I know it's very far away, but they'd full stadiums, everybody's so enthusiastic. Yeah. And it's going to be great to have that, to be that possibility again. But thank you for being with us today. And, like you say, that journey that we're on, it's like the old Chinese proverb as well. The journey of 10,000 steps begins with the first steps. Yeah. And then how fast that you're taking those steps, how fast you're moving is going to be how fast you're going to get to your goal. But we have a wonderful infrastructure, a wonderful foundation that we've put into place. But I suppose also, what I've learned, from the last few months where we have been able to, get together on, these Zoom calls and create this culture of sharing and educating our community through the Zoom. Is a fantastic medium and something that we must keep doing in the future, just because, we can have a live event again. We must keep this culture and this information, because it allows so many people from all over the world to connect with leaders like you that they wouldn't have the opportunity to listen to. And we look forward to having you on the Top Gun Academy very soon again to share more training and inspiration. It's an ongoing process. We learn every time,
it will be a pleasure.
Like you. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, you know, it's now the moment that we're going to finish off our call, but I'd just like to, you know, highlight to you, and you can see there from Andrea's screen how connected he is to his other groups, the Italian group who this translation being done for. And we thank also all the translators, mainly the ladies who are doing that in all of the rooms, you know, today. So we know that we've given you something of value today. We know that the content, you know, from Wayne, from Jay, from Jussi, from Frank, from Staffan, from Jean-Luc, and lastly there from Andrea has been really, you know, information and training of the highest order. So we thank all those, you know, participants, you know, for what they've given us today. But it's also now, as Frank pointed out, our responsibility to get, you know, off our butts and use this information. The first thing, you know, this call will be recorded, and it's a good idea to go back to the call and just reference the information so that we then communicate this information accurately and coherently to our groups, and just make sure everybody understands what is happening. Because sometimes, you know, in life when people are a little bit confused, they may not understand, you know, one detail or one aspect of the program. Then what I've, you know, learned in business over the years is that a confused mind will only do one thing, and that's nothing. So it's our responsibility, you know, as leaders, as people on this call today, you've got the information, so let's share it correctly and accurately so that people can move forward with the correct information and understand how big, how important it is what we're doing, but also the timing of what we are doing. It's really in the begin phase of an amazing journey that we're going to be on for many, many years. As Stefan said, you know, cause driven, really something that's going to make a huge impact, you know, in our world. And really important also for us to connect with what's happening in our local languages or our local communities, you know, around the world, the Italians, the French, the Russian, the Ukrainian markets, the German-speaking markets, the English-speaking markets. There are weekly calls going on where we have business presentations taking place. Also, you know, trainings that are taking place on a weekly basis. And in the English, you know, speaking environment that I contribute to, we have business presentations in English on a Tuesday evening and on a Thursday evening. And then we do a training on Saturday. And we have the Top Gun Academy where we have a guest speaker. All of the guest speakers today, with the exception of Wayne, have been on. We hope to have him on at some point as well. So these are ongoing events and ongoing trainings that is relevant for you to plug into, to learn, to be able to educate better. And also this global call that we do basically on a monthly basis, proposing to do another call on Sunday, the 12th of July. So pencil that in on your agenda. I know that we'll be getting together and trying to work out a time that will be suitable for everybody to participate in such a call. But I mean, a great compliment to you today to see so many of you on the call and, you know, staying with us on this call. So I thank you all so much for your participation, and, you know, let's take our businesses to the next level. Remember, we got one more week of amazing promotion, so make use of that, and also pay attention to the renewal of the business license, as Frank pointed out to us. So.